Listen up. I'm not here to coddle you. I'm not here to tell you that it's okay or that you're doing your best, because frankly, you're probably not. And deep down, in that part of your brain you've been ignoring for years, you know it. Discipline isn't a personality trait you're born with. It's not genetic. It's not a gift from the gods bestowed upon the chosen few. Discipline is a choice, a daily, hourly, minute-by-minute choice that separates the people who achieve their dreams from the people who die with regrets. And right now, as you're reading this, you're probably on the wrong side of that line. You know what the problem is. You've been lied to. You've been fed this comfortable narrative that success comes from finding your passion or following your dreams or being authentic to yourself. That's garbage. That's the lie that weak people tell themselves to justify their mediocrity. The truth, success comes from discipline, period. Not motivation, not inspiration, not passion. Discipline. Motivation is a spark. It's that feeling you get at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night when you watch a YouTube video about some billionaire's morning routine and you think, that's it. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym, cold shower, meditate, journal, read for an hour, and then conquer the world. And then what happens? Your alarm goes off at 5 a.m. You hit snooze. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. You lie there in your warm bed, and that motivation you felt last night, it's gone, evaporated like morning mist. That's because motivation is an emotion, and emotions are unreliable. They fluctuate. They depend on your circumstances, your sleep, what you ate, whether someone cut you off in traffic, whether your boss praised you or criticized you. Emotions are children, they cannot be trusted to drive the car. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline doesn't make excuses. Discipline wakes up at 5 a.m. whether you feel like it or not. Discipline goes to the gym on the days you're tired. Discipline writes when inspiration is nowhere to be found. Discipline shows up when motivation has long since abandoned you. Let me tell you something about your brain. Your brain is not your friend. Your brain is a survival machine designed by evolution to keep you alive in a world where food was scarce, predators were abundant, and energy conservation was the difference between life and death. Your brain wants you to be comfortable. It wants you to conserve energy. It wants you to avoid risk, to stay in the cave where it's safe, to eat the high-calorie foods, to sleep when you're tired, to avoid conflict, to take the path of least resistance. Your brain is still operating on software that was last updated 100,000 years ago. It doesn't know that you live in a world of abundance. It doesn't understand that the greatest threats to your survival are no longer saber-toothed tigers, but obesity, mediocrity, and wasted potential. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you're letting that ancient programming win. You're letting a caveman's brain dictate the life of a modern human being, and that's pathetic. The voice in your head that says, just 5 more minutes, or you deserve a break, or you can start tomorrow. That's not wisdom, that's not self-care. That's your brain trying to keep you weak, comfortable, and safe. And safe is the enemy of greatness. You want to know why discipline is so hard? Because it requires you to go to war with yourself every single day. It requires you to override millions of years of evolutionary programming. It requires you to become something more than a biological machine responding to stimuli. It requires you to become conscious, deliberate, intentional. Most people never do this. Most people spend their entire lives as unconscious reactors, responding to their environment, their emotions, their circumstances. They are like leaves blown by the wind, convinced they're choosing their direction. They're not. They're just drifting. And then one day they wake up at 50, 60, 70 years old and wonder where their life went. They wonder why they never wrote that book, never started that business, never got in shape, never learned that language, never became the person they imagined they could be. And the answer is simple: they lacked discipline. Let's get practical. Because philosophy without application is just mental masturbation. Here's what discipline actually looks like in the real world. Discipline is waking up at the same time every day, regardless of how late you went to bed, regardless of whether it's a weekend, regardless of how you feel. Your body craves consistency. Give it consistency, and it will reward you with energy, clarity, and resilience. Discipline is doing the work when you don't feel like it. Writing when you have no ideas. Training when your body aches. Studying when your brain is foggy. Making sales calls when you've been rejected 20 times in a row. This is where average people quit. This is where disciplined people separate themselves from the herd. Discipline is saying no. No to the party when you have work to do. No to the dessert when you're trying to lose weight. No to the comfortable job when you have a bigger vision. No to the toxic friend who drains your energy. No to the scrolling, the binging, the procrastinating, the numbing. Most people think discipline is about what you do. It's not. Discipline is about what you don't do. It's about the 1,000 tiny temptations you resist every single day. The cumulative effect of these small no's is what creates an extraordinary life. Discipline is keeping your word to yourself. This is the most important one, and it's the one most people violate constantly. You tell yourself you're going to do something: go to the gym, finish the project, call your mother, read for 30 minutes in, then you don't do it, and you think it doesn't matter because no one else knows. But you know, and every time you break a promise to yourself, you erode your self-trust. You teach yourself that your word means nothing. You become a person who cannot be counted on, not by others, but by yourself. And once you lose trust in yourself, you've lost everything. Because if you can't trust yourself to do what you say you're going to do, how can you possibly achieve anything significant? Here's what's going to happen if you don't develop discipline. You're going to stay exactly where you are. Maybe you'll move laterally, new job, new relationship, new city, but fundamentally, you'll be the same person making the same mistakes, repeating the same patterns, getting the same results. Your dreams will slowly fade. Not all at once, that would be too obvious, too painful. They'll fade gradually, like colors in old photographs. You'll stop talking about them. You'll stop thinking about them. Eventually, you'll forget you ever had them. You'll become realistic. You'll grow up. You'll accept reality. And by accept reality, I mean you'll accept mediocrity. You'll develop health problems, because discipline and health are inseparable. An undisciplined person doesn't exercise consistently, doesn't eat properly, doesn't sleep well, doesn't manage stress effectively. Your body will break down, slowly at first, then rapidly. And by the time you realize what's happened, reversing the damage will require 10 times the effort it would have taken to prevent it. Your relationships will suffer. Undisciplined people are unreliable. They break commitments. They let people down. They prioritize their momentary comfort over their long-term connections. Eventually, people stop counting on them, stop inviting them, stop caring. You'll become bitter, because deep down, you'll know that your circumstances are your fault. You'll see other people succeeding, people who aren't smarter than you, who didn't have better opportunities than you, who started in the same place you did. And instead of being inspired, you'll be resentful. You'll make excuses. You'll blame the system, the economy, your parents, your genetics, your bad luck. But late at night, when you're alone with your thoughts, you'll know the truth. You'll know that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your lack of discipline. And that knowledge will eat at you like acid. Now here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this way. Discipline is a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed. You're not doomed to be undisciplined forever. You can change, but change requires a decision, not a wish, not a hope, not a plan. You'll start someday, a decision, and that decision needs to happen right now. Not tomorrow, not after you finish this article, not after you've prepared or gotten organized or done more research. Now here's how you start. Choose one thing, not 10 things, not 5 things, one thing, one behavior that, if you did it consistently, would significantly improve your life. Maybe it's waking up early. Maybe it's exercising daily. Maybe it's writing for 30 minutes. Maybe it's not checking your phone for the first hour of the day. Pick one thing and commit to doing it every single day for 30 days. No exceptions. No, I'll make up for it tomorrow. No, just this once. Every single day. This is harder than it sounds. Your brain will throw every excuse at you. You'll get sick, you'll get busy, you'll have a crisis, you'll feel unmotivated, and you'll need to do it anyway. Because here's the secret. The task itself doesn't matter. What matters is proving to yourself that you can keep a commitment. You're not building a habit to or rebuilding trust in yourself. You're demonstrating that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. After 30 days, add a second thing, then a third. Build slowly but consistently. Don't try to overhaul your entire life in a week. That's how undisciplined people think. They want the transformation without the process. They want to wake up one day as a completely different person. It doesn't work like that. Discipline is built brick by brick. Each small decision compounds. Each kept promise strengthens the next one. Over time, not days or weeks, but months and years, you become a different person. Not because you changed everything at once, but because you changed one thing, and then another, and then another. Let me address the elephant in the room, burnout. People will tell you that discipline leads to burnout, that you need balance, that you need to listen to your body, that rest is important, and they're not entirely wrong, but they're not right either. Burnout doesn't come from discipline. Burnout comes from doing things you hate, for reasons you don't believe in pursuit of goals that don't matter to you. Burnout comes from spending 40 hours a week in a job you despise to pay for a lifestyle you don't enjoy to impress people you don't like. Disciplined people don't burn out because they're working towards something they actually care about. When you're disciplined in service of a meaningful goal, work doesn't deplete you, it energizes you. Yes, you need rest. Yes, you need recovery. But rest is most valuable when it's earned through effort. The rest of a disciplined person is qualitatively different from the rest of a lazy person. One is recovery, the other is escape. The disciplined person rests to become stronger. The undisciplined person rests because they're avoiding something. Big difference. Here's what nobody tells you about discipline. It gets easier. Not because the tasks become easier, they don't. The gym doesn't get lighter. The blank page doesn't get less intimidating. The early morning alarm doesn't sound more pleasant. It gets easier because you get stronger. Your capacity increases. Your tolerance for discomfort expands. What used to feel impossible becomes routine. What used to require enormous willpower becomes automatic. This is the compound effect of discipline. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're making a deposit in the bank account of your future self. And those deposits compound. They grow. They accumulate into something substantial. The person you are right now is the sum total of all the decisions you've made up to this point. The person you'll be 5 years from now will be the sum total of the decisions you make from today forward. Every single day, you're voting for the person you're going to become. With every action, every choice, every moment of discipline or indisciplines, you're casting a vote. Most people vote for mediocrity without realizing it. They think it's just one missed workout, just one skipped writing session, just one day of eating poorly, just one evening wasted scrolling. And individually, these things don't matter. But collectively, they determine everything. I want to end with this. You have one life. One. Not a dress rehearsal. Not a practice run. This is it. And right now you're wasting it. I don't say that to be cruel. I say it because it's true. You're wasting your potential, your time, your energy on comfort and convenience and instant gratification. You're trading what you want most for what you want now. And the tragedy is that you know this. Deep down, beneath all the excuses and rationalizations and self-deception, you know you're capable of more. You know you're settling. You know you're playing small. The question is, what are you going to do about it? You can close this article, feel a brief surge of motivation, and then go back to exactly what you were doing before. Most people will. They'll read something like this, feel inspired for approximately 45 minutes, and then return to their comfortable patterns. Or you can decide right now, in this moment, that enough is enough. That you're done being a victim of your circumstances, your emotions, your impulses. That you're going to become a disciplined person, regardless of how hard it is, regardless of how long it takes, regardless of how many times you fail along the way. The choice is yours. It always has been. But here's the thing about choices. Not choosing is also a choice. Staying where you are is a choice. Continuing on your current trajectory is a choice. And if you're honest with yourself, you already know where that trajectory leads. So choose differently. Choose discipline. Choose the hard path, the uncomfortable path, the path that requires you to become more than you currently are. Choose to wake up tomorrow and do the thing you said you were going to do, even though every fiber of your being will scream at you not to. Choose to keep going when motivation fades, when inspiration dries up, when everyone else quits. Choose to become the person you know you're capable of being. Or don't. Live a comfortable, easy, undisciplined life and wonder, somewhere down the line, what could have been. The iron law is simple. Discipline equals freedom. The more disciplined you are, the more choices you have. The less disciplined you are, the more your circumstances control you. What will it be? The clock is ticking. Your life is happening right now. Choose.